Hello everyone, welcome back to another Dice Throne talk here. I know it's been a while, however I have been waiting for my Dice Throne Adventures Kickstarter to arrive in the mail. I'm kind of in league with everyone else in terms of still waiting for the shipment email to come in. However, I know quite a few people have gotten that email and have received their package or their shipment. Very excited to see that. And the consensus that I'm getting from the Dice Throne community page, the Kickstarter comments, Discord, what have you, is that everyone has been loving it, enjoying it, and it's been a fantastic time. So very glad to hear that. I know there were some issues initially with Europe in terms of shipment and the integrity of the shipment and protecting the contents inside. That has been changed for US shipments or further shipments. They've taken that information and improved on it. So very happy to see that. Whenever we get our shipment in, I'll be making sure to post some more videos up. I've just been waiting on that shipment is all. So I'm sure it'll be here soon. Just trying to be patient. But what has happened, or who has gotten their shipment, actually was a late pledge backer, and our friends the Gars, and they have received theirs. They were a late pledge, however, and when Kayla and I, we were initial pledge. I forget our backer number, but the late pledge did get theirs before ours. It is what it is. It's whatever the shipment is, I guess. So we were able to go over there last night. Today is the 17th, Sunday. So we went over there last night and we initially got it all out, checked it out to some degree, and we played. And we ended up playing 3 games. We ended up playing a portal crawl, a boss battle against the fallen Barbarian, and then one more portal crawl. So from here on out, expect spoilers to some degree. This is going to be the spoiler warning that I'm going to be talking about some spoilers, showing some other stuff that is in the Tabletop Simulator, and then I also have some pictures as well that I'm going to be posting to my Instagram account, the Young Games 1134. So if you haven't already, go check that out. I post a lot of different pictures of games that we play, not just Dice Throne. But Dice Throne is definitely our main game that we want to play a lot and record and talk about. So without further ado, we'll get right into it here. So the characters that we ended up bringing for our first portal crawl was we had Moon Elf with Cherish. She plays really well with the Moon Elf, gets covered shot pretty much all the time. So it's just a very consistent attack for her. Every so often she gets the demising shots. I think she got the small straight once or twice and the large straight once. I don't think she ever rolled for an ultimate, but that preventing half on defense, if you roll 2 feet, is just fantastic and really a benefit to those minions that attack heavily, and you need to prevent half that damage. If you can upgrade the ability, definitely do so, because you can do 1 damage per bow rather than for every 2 bows it's 1 damage. So definitely do that. The evasives are great, along with targeted, tangled, blind, just a lot of stats effects. Overall, a fantastic character for adventures. We also had Ninja, and Gar was the ninja, and he just started playing with her Friday night, I think, or Thursday night. They got it last Thursday, and so they played some Thursday, played some Friday, played as the Treant as well. Cherish tried out the Pyromancer and is looking to try out the Pyromancer for another crawl. But we had the Ninja, and was a fantastic hero as well. The main reason are the status effect tokens. Delayed poison, dealing 3 damage at the end of the minion's phase was huge multiple times. The smoke bomb, being able to get rid of or not take any damage on a 50-50 shot, I think he got it pretty much every time. We had to tip it one time to go from a 4 to a 3. And then the ninjutsus as well. He was able to make some stuff undefendable. Just a fantastic ability. Was able to also attack multiple minions with different cards. Just did a fantastic job overall, and a very ninja stealthy like way. And he was able to get his ultimate twice, I believe. So just fantastic job. Michaela thought about doing the Shadow Thief, ended up not doing the Shadow Thief, and decided to do the Vampire Lord. We figured the Vampire Lord would be another good option for her. She likes Vampire Lord, and being able to heal health, able to deal damage, and then she has 4 blood power, can also heal that damage as well. We did that for the Barbarian, Fallen Barbarian, and really was a difference maker in that. So she was a Vampire Lord, and myself, I had 2 options. I was thinking either the Monk, just because of the cleansing, and because a lot of Dice Tournament Adventures, when you turn over tiles or minions or what have you, they're going to be doing a lot of stats effects to you. I'll talk about it on the third crawl, or the second crawl that we did, third scenario. There was one negative stats effect that was just a theme for all of us, and it made it so much difficult to get through that crawl. But I ended up going with the Paladin. The Paladin is kind of my main character. I just love the Paladin. He can do a lot of good things in terms of dealing undefendable damage, making damage undefendable with accuracy, adding additional damage with crit, retribution, gaining CP, and I ended up getting the ultimate one time. It might have been the first or third scenario. I think I got, oh no, I'm sorry, it was the Fallen Barbarian as well. I was able to ultimate and get the Blessings of Divinity as well. So fantastic on that, and I'm going to assume that since you share 1 health, if you go down to 0 and you have Blessings of Divinity, you will go back up to 1 health. So really nice to have that as a ace in the hole, just in case you guys survive that 1 extra round. So those were the 4. And for the first scenario, we actually had this portal crawl right here. And what we ended up doing was we kind of split up to some degree. We had someone go right here. I think it was the Moon Elf. Went and took on that level 2 minion. And then meanwhile, Gar and Michaela went down here. And then meanwhile, I went to right here and then took care of this next. So Cherish ended up getting a salve token over here because the initial salve tokens were, I believe, Cherish and myself. Because Gar was confident with the smoke bomb to negate or prevent a lot of damage, not taking any damage, and then Michaela with the healing. So I think it was Cherish and I taking the salves on that. And for the minions, for what we faced overall throughout the 2 different crawls were these ones from the tabletop. And I would have to say Goblin Enchanter. I think that was the first one that Gar went after. I went after the Lizard Man with the 15 health, 2 CP. The Wandering Ronin, I don't know if there is a 2 or a level 1 minion of it, but there is a level 3 minion of it that I found out in our second crawl, and my goodness was that tough. The reason why is because he's got this very simple attack. On 3 of a kind, I believe he got Backstrike, and then for the defensive role, he deals half the value as damage, but he also prevents half. And then on top of that, I also had 2 withers on me, and I could not get those withers off of me because I wasn't drawing any cards to get those cards off of me. We also had Cherish had 1 wither, and Gar had 2 withers as well. And that was the negative stats effect that was really hampering us down because I would be dealing maybe 6, 7, 8 damage. However, wither would take 2 away. and then he would roll a 5 or a 6. So now he is preventing 5 damage overall, and then he's also dealing me 3. So really, I'm taking more of a hit than I'm dealing him. So it took quite a while to take him down. So it was a tough battle. Uh, I was able though for this minion, the level 3, I was able to take him out by myself. I think I had 17 health to start with. The reason why is because I was doing a lot of the small straight, large straight, holy light. I was getting a lot of health, what have you. So that was helping out quite a bit. We did end up clearing out every tile. Gar likes to go to the wall and do everything possible as long as we're still alive. So we were able to clear that out and get plus 5 points at the end of our score. We started with 1 gold, however we were able to get 65 gold at the end and able to get some good cards. I'm not going to go too much into the loot cards. I want to kind of keep that somewhat of a guessing game of what you may be getting. However, we did choose some cards that maybe it might have been an epic card, and we actually did not get them because it didn't fit the character, such as Moon Elf. She could have gotten a card that would allow her to get flight. Well, flight is good, however, she already has evasives, so being able to get that ability isn't really crucial. So she instead bought another card instead, or saved that gold to put towards points at the end of the round as well. So just keep that in mind. Just because you have the gold and it's a really good card doesn't mean you have to go out and spend it, because it may not fit right with your character. It may actually be a hindrance rather than a benefit for you. So just keep that in mind. We did play normal difficulty. We did not play the veteran just because it was our first portal crawl through, and it was first time for the 3 of them, not for me obviously, so I was kind of more of the rule book to some degree. I had to obviously look up some rules as we went, but just for the first time through, for everyone to understand how the game worked, the mechanics of it, explaining how this worked or this worked as well is really important. The loot die, I tell you what, we rolled a lot of gold, and myself, I rolled a lot of 6 and below. I don't think I rolled a 7 or 8. I rolled a 9 a couple times, but I tell you what, I hardly rolled any of the high numbers. It was mainly down here is what I rolled, and that's just kind of how it goes. That's the luck of the die that I had that night. Maybe next time we play, next scenario, what have you, I'll be rolling a lot of up here. Who knows? Michaela was actually able to roll a 20 on the 4. So she was able to get that card, and I'll tell you what, that was a pretty nice card that she got. So pretty happy for her on that. The Axe Knight was a pretty hard guy to go against as well. I don't think he ever failed it, but it was pretty tough. Wailing Banshee was our first level 2 minion that we went against. She did some damage as well. She never did the full power damage. I think the best that she got was 3 collateral, and she was never able to ignore all the damage. So she went down relatively easy, even though she did have a significant roll objective. So other than that, for the portal crawl itself, it went pretty easy. We didn't really use that many salves, and I think we had 4 going into the boss, if I remember correctly. So, and then when we went to the boss, Fallen Barbarian, normal difficulty as well. And these are the different upgrades that he got. He got Low Blow 3 for 8 undefendable, Barbaric Roar 3, Unhinged 2, and Overload 3. He was able to get this large straight 1 time against us. However, it was pretty much at the very end. and it really didn't affect us at all. We easily took the damage. He took a little bit more, and then he was defeated that next turn. Um, the prevented negative status effect, that actually happened one time. We tried to put a delayed poison on him, and he was able to evade it. He did heal quite a bit. Rolling those four dice helped him quite a bit. But we did defeat him, honestly not overly difficult. He rolled a lot of cards that were looking for an ultimate ability, but he does have cards that help him try to get that ultimate ability. So Overload 3, Low Blow 3, Barbaric Roar 3, what have you. He was never able to get Skull Bash either, which was really beneficial because that stun can be pretty nasty, along with the undefendable damage. So we were able to defeat him, and I'm going to go to my phone here for pictures in terms of the next crawl. And the next crawl, still starting with 1 gold, obviously, and now instead of more greens, there's only 4 greens, and then we are adding another epic. So now we have 2 epics, and we are also adding another level 4 portal, and there are going to be a total of 6 rares as well. So we're adding 2 more blues, and it's kind of more of a the best I can describe it is like a figure 8 on its side. So it's an 8 on its side with a little ends on each end of it, and those are where the level 4s are. Obviously, of course, they couldn't make it easy, and they put one of the dice shards on the level 4, and 2 of them on one of each of the level 3s. So you had to go after those. There's 4 salve tokens out there as well. So we did end up quite a bit using the salve tokens. It was pretty difficult. We went up against a level 4 monster, and I tell you what, that was pretty difficult. I think you'll be able to see it on YouTube. I believe Manny and them, they went up against this level 4 monster, and that was the Goblin Horde. And the Goblin Horde is trying to gain health if he fails the offensive roll. However, he does have King's Hands as well. But also, he's dealing half damage or full damage, or half damage relevant to the health that he has. And then if it's below 5, it's undefendable. So there's quite a few rounds where he was having around 20 health, so he's dealing 10 plus damage at us. So it took a while to go after him, but we were eventually able to defeat him. The other thing that was pretty tough was that you can only deal 6 damage to him no matter what. He took a maximum of 6 damage. So it was kind of crucial to get to that 6 and what have you. The other level 4 monster, I believe, was out there as well for a demo, was Umbra, and that was a holographic, and it looks fantastic, and has another Shadow Thief mechanic to it with shadows. And with the shadows, if he failed the offensive roll, King's Hand obviously as well, and fails the offensive roll, he goes into the shadows. And then his defense is also, if he's rolling certain dice, he goes in the shadows as well. He was able to go in the shadows one time, and it was actually perfect timing, because when he went into the shadows after Cherish, it was my turn. Well, what I decided to do instead was do some, I think I did Retribution. And so what happened was I got Retribution for CP. I didn't have to worry about attacking him or wasting a turn, because I was able to deal either Holy Light, some sort of status stuff to set myself up for the next round. And so when he attacked me, I was able to do Retribution. I think because of Withers and what have you, or I had Absolution as a card, so the damage went down, and with Retribution it only dealt 2 damage, but that was enough for Guard next round to go ahead and finish it off. So we were actually able to successfully pass all 3 scenarios the first time through. So the next scenario will be scenario number 4, and that will be against the gunslinger. I haven't seen the gunslinger's abilities yet or board really, keeping that a little bit of surprise. So we'll see how we do against the gunslinger. I'm anticipating it to be a pretty tough one. And let's see, how many salves do we have left? Looks like we have 3 salves left to go against the gunslinger. We'll see if that's enough. He is starting with 80 health, and I believe we start with 50. So we actually have to deal a lot of damage, and he's going to be evading, bounding us, knockdowning us, I'm going to guess, if he has similar abilities to the gunslinger. So for our scores, we have 34, 28, and 36. So I don't know if that's going to be good or not at the end, but we'll see how it goes. So far, we're doing well. Interested to see how future scenarios go, and then also doing solo play, doing a campaign with just Michaela and I, just multiple run-throughs with different characters, and just having fun with it. I'm gonna be honest with you, we had so much fun playing Dice Throne Adventures together because usually, you play Dice Throne and you're attacking someone, and our gaming group may not enjoy having to attack someone all the time, and having this back and forth in terms of they don't really want to hit someone. They don't want that to happen, and they don't want to get hit by someone else and all that other stuff. I mean, that's kind of part of Dice Throne, but they don't care for that mechanic in general. However, with Dice Throne Adventures, you don't have a person attacking you, you having the game attack you, or in you attacking the game. So, and the game takes care of itself in terms of the role objectives, and having these different role objectives makes it very clear cut of how it works, and the rulebook in reference to the straits, what have you. So overall, we absolutely loved it. And every time we defeated a monster, we're yelling for loot die, and we're all saying what numbers we have or how excited we are. It was so much fun. We honestly had a beyond amount of fun with this game, and beyond excited to continue it. We stopped about 1 a.m. and we wanted to play more. Unfortunately, other priorities took a need, but we obviously wanted to play more. So really excited. We're really excited to try out different heroes, but what I plan on doing is just keep on updating you about our 4-player campaign. Whenever we end up getting our backer product, we'll be doing other videos with our product as well, and just throwing as much information out there. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out Dice Throne community page on Facebook. There's a fantastic community, very helpful. Just be mindful that you can use that search engine bar in order, if you have a question, that question may have already been asked and answered. Just be mindful of that, but if you do see a repeating question, don't be afraid to be helpful and be kind, and understand that with a growing community, people are just starting now to get into this game and don't know, all the different timing issues or wording, or the difference between on and then times, what have you. So just keep on being friendly, being the great community that you are out there, and keep on rolling 6s, and we'll see you next time. Take care.